today we are here to talk about your film, Tulsa. And right off the bat, you are a man of many, many talents. I mean, writer, director, and you star in the film. But then also, I find out that you're also a lawyer. And this film is based off of one of your actual cases. First of all, it's amazing. and
Oh, thank you.
can you talk about that kind of journey to be able to take a film, I mean, from almost inception, from that point to where it got?
Sure, no problem. So that's a good question because it is, it's kind of a strange journey, but it's, it's been fun. It's been kind of a wild ride. So essentially, I started out acting back in high school. I was like in sixth grade. I was chosen for a school play as one of the main characters, and I just had fun with it. I enjoyed it. I was always kind of class clown and goofing around. And then in high school, we did skits in a class where we would make up a skit and then, act it out and have some theme or lesson. And so I was asked by other members of other groups to be in their, skits and help them creatively and that sort of stuff. And it was not a liberal arts high school. It was just, just a, regular high school. And I was a big sports guy. So went to college, studied business, and ended up doing acting in terms of student body productions, that sort of thing. And then auditioned for a Shakespeare play. And it was a huge audition in front of a big auditorium. I ended up getting a speaking role in it. And I was a little surprised because I didn't think my audition was very good. But anyhow, so then I decided to go to law school, but I always had the creative side of me that I loved. And I ended up becoming an attorney, and I found the success that I had as an attorney was in my ability to tell my client stories. And I'm a trial lawyer. So, I love being in front of a jury. I love being in court. I love high stakes fights. Fighting's in my blood. I went in the Marine Corps actually right after school, right after high school. So fighting's in my blood. And I found that where our success was in the courtroom was when I could really delve into the story of my client. Just not another case, just not another claim number. I specialize in very serious injuries and wrongful death cases. So, I represent victims who've been, run over by a semi truck and, half the family was killed, or recently a crane operator dropped a massive slab on a young man, and now he'll probably never walk again. So it's very life altering, catastrophic events. And where I found success was really sitting down with the clients and their family, really getting to know them, not on a surface level, but just like, who is this person? What makes them tick? What are their goals? What are their ambitions? How has this injury impacted them? How has this death impacted the family? And I want to know the details. I want to know, I represented one time a young 18-year-old Hispanic man who got killed by a semi truck, and his family came into the office, and we were of course litigating the case and preparing it for trial. And his parents, we do what's called a day in the life of video, where you videotape, the family, kind of take them through that so that we can play that to the jury. And you just never know who's going to be that witness that tugs on the heartstrings. And in this particular one, of course, the parents, talked about this young man, but it was actually his little brother who had these big, thick glasses on and kind of crooked teeth and just wavy hair. And he was just so taken back by his brother's death, and how he used to take him to Waffle House before soccer games and just, lecture him like a big brother, and just really just really was that great big brother that we all wish we had. And it was really that testimony that really kind of pulled us in. And so anyhow, so just kind of getting to know the clients, at that heart level, and then translating that in front of telling that story to a jury, telling it to the judge, and fighting for the case and for the people. And so that love of storytelling is where we found success in the courtroom, and then translated that onto the big screen. So the real life cases that I work on is fuel and food for our scripts and our stories, because, you know, a lot of times, you know, I have real people in mind. Tulsa was inspired by a case, and actually a couple of cases that I worked on. And so, you know, truth is stranger than fiction, and just the real life. It's a huge advantage to be a trial lawyer dealing with people who sit, you know, in our conference room day in and day out, and they just suffer these tragedies. And I love fighting for them. I love helping them, and then love putting that in script form. Of course, you know, some of the things we fictionalize to keep the privacy of the clients, of course, but then putting that on the screen and really hopefully changing and affecting people's lives. The why of why we film is to help people. And, you know, as a law practice, we want to help people. I have my own practice, Scott Pryor Law, and our goal is to help as many people as we can. So either in the courtroom or on the big screen, the undercurrent of both is again, storytelling. And it's to help people. So that was in a very long explanation. That was kind of the journey.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a long journey. So Livi Birch plays Tulsa in the film.
Correct.
And we see this building of a relationship between her character and your character.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prepare for that? What was your relationship like on and off screen to be able to build that relationship and to make it a believable connection for the viewers?
Sure. So first of all, what we did is we would act here. You know, I brought people actually to the house, and we would have rehearsals. And that's a good way, you know, before you crank up into production, it's a good way to really get to know the person. Livi came with her mom, Joanna, and Joanna's great. She's actually from England. And so we just built this bond kind of between Joanna and Livi, myself and my wife, and, you know, the other director, my co-director, Gloria Stella, and just kind of off screen prior to shooting. And then also one of the things we did was we shot the film in Augusta, and we rented 3 Airbnbs for the cast and the crew and all involved. And so we made sure to have Livi and her mom stay with, you know, me and my wife, and then a couple of the other producers, and Gloria Stella, my co-director, was in there, but also some of the other actors. So that, you know, as you wake up in the morning, you can talk, you know, before a set. And Livi would be in character, and she'd write little notes on the food, like, Tommy, hands off. She bought these cupcakes, and she's like, Tommy, hands off. And she bought all these snacks, you know. And of course I hid all the snacks in the cupcakes and wrote, you know, cupcakes were delicious, the snacks were delicious, thank you so much. I'd hide them. And so we were really playful, and again, just sitting down and getting to know Livi and her mom and kind of how they tick. And her mom would kind of pull me aside and say, hey, you know, here's some of the concerns, or she may be a little bit nervous on this, or you know, whatever. And so then I was able to talk to her and kind of address some of that, address some of those concerns. I think with actors, as a director, I love working with actors and kind of seeing their creative process and empowering them. And I know with actors, just come in and be like, man, you're doing a great job, and build that confidence. And you know, Livi's very hard worker, came prepared, but really we'd really foster that off-screen relationship again with our families, just to really make it obviously, like you said, believable on screen. And even to this day, I'll see her, and they're quarantining, of course, and I've seen her. We've had their family over at our house after filming, just because we've become friends. And it's strange, because she almost feels like my real daughter. I don't have any daughters, I have boys, but, you know, she feels like my real daughter, you know. And I'm like, oh, how's Livi doing? And she warms my heart. Of course, she warms everybody's heart, but it's just it's pretty cool.
So one of the main themes in the film is faith.
Yes.
And what I found very, very interesting is how Tulsa uses her faith to keep her up, to keep her chin up, and keep going forward despite any of the struggles, while Tommy is on the other side of it, struggling to accept it and kind of help him rise up from his personal struggles. Can you talk about the importance of faith?
Absolutely. I mean, faith is a foundation in everybody's lives, where it should be. If we ignore our spiritual being, or if we ignore our faith, I mean, I mean, it's like cutting your head off, or, it's like cutting your soul out. You have to address that in life. And a lot of times, you know, who doesn't struggle with faith, right? I think everybody struggles with faith, whether it be a struggle with the belief in God, or a struggle with the relationship with God. I think that we all have those struggles, and we want to definitely write that in as part of the struggle. I never want to sit somebody down and preach to them, or beat them over the head, because that can be off-putting. But I wanted to definitely weave the faith into the life of the characters, so that you're rooting for the character and say, hey, you should try that. And so faith is, I mean, it's like I said, it's the foundation, because like I said, if you're not connected, to God and your fellow man, then you're missing out.
So your film also, despite all of the troubles that we've been through this year, managed to reach a very good milestone at number 3 all-time domestic box office for self-distributed films. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Why do you think it's resonated so well with audiences?
Well, number one, and thank you, by the grace of God, truly, for opening that door, and that, because our advertising budget was a bit of a joke, but we knew that in filming Tulsa, we knew that we had a powerful story, and the team, and I will tell you emphatically, this is not, I wore a lot of hats, but without the team of people in place, a lot of times I get to be the face, and a lot of people give me credit, but honestly, the credit goes to the team and everybody who came up alongside and helped and worked hard on this. So number one, but in terms of the box office, I feel that Tulsa is a very powerful story. Even when we were filming, you had this sense of okay, this is very special. And then when a test audience watched it, we had a really, really emotional, powerful reaction. So we felt like we had something extremely strong, and we knew that it was a risk releasing as soon as all the Regals open. We released in all the Regals, and now of course it's expanded to all these other independent chains, and hopefully we'll keep expanding. But we knew we had a powerful story. The two big hurdles, though, were A, people didn't know theaters were open, and B, a lot of people were scared of COVID. And so those were massive hurdles for us. But we thought, right now in the country, you have a lot of uncertainty. You have people who are just anxiety. You have the dark cloud just kind of hanging over the country and over the world. You've got COVID, you've got political unrest. It's an election year. You have a lot of fighting going on. And so we said, what does the country need? And right now we felt that Tulsa was something that the country needed, because it's a story of hope, love, redemption. It doesn't take, it's not a political film. It's a story of just a raw story of hope, love, and redemption, and overcoming, and faith. And so the reaction to the film is just people responding, saying, I broke quarantine to go to the movie, and the movies are very safe with how they social distance and limit and all that. But people just say, thank you. This is a super powerful film. It's the best film we've seen in a very, very long time. And so we're pleased with that decision, even with all the limited seating. And I know that certain theaters, they were turning people away at the door, and we've done very well. But I mean, I'm just thankful. And really, it's the word of mouth. It's a group of people going and seeing it, and then they tell their friends. We've had people buy out theaters for youth groups. We've had churches and small groups go, and this isn't just a film for, people of faith. This is a film for everybody. And that's kind of the reaction we're getting. People like, there's faith in this film, but this film is for everybody. So we're extremely excited, and we're very, very close in the box office to being the number 2 spot. And I'm competitive, so I want to be number 1. That's ambitious. And we're already in our 9th week, and number 1 is a ways away. But we're very, very, we're on the edge of breaking number 2. So God willing, we'll break that and hopefully keep climbing.
Well, we'll keep the word of mouth going for you, and we'll be rooting for it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me this morning. I really appreciate it. And we hope to see more of these films like these from you in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And God bless you. And thank you so much for having me. If you want to look at our future projects, you can follow us at Pryor Entertainment. We have our social media, and then personally, whatever personal projects I'm working on, it's official Scott Pryor for Instagram and all that. But check out our YouTube channel and everything. Tulsa is actually our third film. We have 2 previous films. One is called Black Bear. It was on Netflix. Our contract just ended with Netflix, but it's on video. You can find it out there on Amazon, just a bunch of other places, digital platforms. And then we have another film called The List, and it's out there as well. As a matter of fact, we just got a message from a girl, which was cool. She said that she thanked us because she just watched The List, and she said it literally saved her life because she felt all alone. And we got that same message from a lady in Canada at Christmas that she had watched The List and was contemplating suicide, and that God used it to give her the strength to call the suicide prevention line. So that's the why of why we do the films. And so we're super excited. But thank you, Emmanuel, for having me. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So much.
You need anything or whatever, we're here for you.
I will keep that in mind. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, take